Thank you all for being here today. I really appreciate your curiosity and your willingness to dive into a topic that, frankly, is as exciting as it is complicated. Now, let me start with a caveat that I think is important to get out of the way. Building your own large language model entirely from scratch is, for most organizations, not practical. Why? Because you'd need mountains of data, enormous compute clusters, and teams of engineers. Imagine trying to collect billions of documents, clean them, tokenize them, design intricate neural architectures with dozens of layers and attention heads, and then pre-train on that scope of data. After that, you'd still have to align it, fine-tune it, run inference efficiently, quantize it for deployment, and put guardrails around safety and compliance. That isn't just expensive, it's often prohibitive, even for Fortune 100 companies. So if building from scratch isn't the way, what's the alternative? The much more powerful, and frankly practical, path is this. Take an existing base model and make it yours. Customize it, adapt it, bend it to your business, your team, your data, your rules. And that's what I want to walk you through. Why customization matters, how it works, and who's doing it well in the real world. Let's begin with why. Pre-trained models like ChatGPT, Claude, Llama, or Mistral are generalists. They can talk about Shakespeare, debug code, write marketing copy, or explain quantum physics, and that's amazing. But when you ask them to step inside your company, that's where things start to break down. Think about it. You hand a generalist model your product documents, your support tickets, your compliance rules, and it hallucinates answers. It confuses your acronyms, it misses your tone. A response that looks fine in general can be legally risky or brand damaging for you. That's why customization matters. Customization allows a bank to make sure the answers always honor regulations. It lets a defense contractor ensure technical specs are interpreted correctly. It lets a healthcare provider guarantee that terminology is medically accurate and privacy is preserved. In short, customization shifts these models from a helpful generalist to a trusted specialist. So how do you get from a generalist to a specialist? I like to think of it as a 6-step journey. Step 1, define your use cases and your risks. What do you want this model to do? Is it summarizing internal reports, assisting engineers with code, answering employee questions? At this stage, you also set the guardrails. We must honor privacy. We must minimize hallucination. We must meet compliance. You're setting the stage, like a compass pointing north. Step 2, gather and prep the data. Remember, the LLM knows a lot, but not your world. You gather your specs, your design docs, your wikis, your tickets, maybe your code repositories. You clean them, deduplicate them, anonymize sensitive fields, slice them into usable chunks, and tag them with helpful metadata. It's less glamorous, but this is where the magic starts. Step 3, select your base and your strategy. You choose the foundation model that's right for you. Maybe an open source model like Llama or Mistral, maybe a commercial one. Then you decide. Do you fully fine-tune? Do you use LoRa adapters? Do you do retrieval augmented generation, RAG, instead of heavy training? You're designing the scaffolding, how this thing will actually work in practice. Step 4, tune and align. This is where you mix art and engineering. You give it prompt templates, you insert few-shot examples, you build a RAG pipeline so it looks things up rather than guessing. And yes, you fine-tune. Inject your data so the model speaks in your voice. Then you layer alignment, human feedback, preference tuning, maybe even agentic workflows that call tools when text alone isn't enough. Step 5, evaluate, test, iterate. Don't just trust it. Beat it up with real data, adversarial queries, crazy edge cases, stress tests. Measure hallucination rates. Deploy to a beta group. Watch how it fails. Then tweak, retrain, refine. This is less a one-time finish line and more a continuous cycle. Step 6, deploy and monitor. Now you ship it. Wrap it in an API, put it into your chatbot, embed it in your team's tools. But you don't walk away. You track versioning, usage, drift, mistakes. You do patch releases. You retrain as your business evolves. A customized model isn't static. It grows as you grow. Now let me make this more tangible with some real stories. NVIDIA built Chip Nemo, a large language model tuned specifically for semiconductor design. They started with a foundation model, retrained it on their hardware docs, their design logs, their engineering notes, even their scripts. They adjusted tokenization so it understood chip terminology. The outcome? A system that outperformed baseline LLMs at things like EDA script generation and debugging. In other words, it spoke engineer fluently. JP Morgan Chase built LLM Suite. Their employees use it for summarization, drafting, research, and more, and their developer teams layered on something called PR Buddy. It watches their code pull requests and generates descriptions, comments, summaries, all tuned to the bank's way of working. That's a huge productivity lift, not from a general-purpose assistant, but a carefully tailored one. Inflection AI launched Inflection for Enterprise. This isn't just one model for everyone. It's your model for your business. They let enterprises fine-tune, host it on their own infrastructure, even modulate the tone and style so it fits the company's brand voice. Together AI created together custom models. They don't just give you access, they walk you through the whole journey: data discovery, model selection, fine-tuning, evaluation, and then you own the checkpoint. This means you're not renting intelligence, you're truly building your own tailored model. And then there are boutique consultancies, the integration firms that help big clients adapt these base LLMs, add retrieval layers, add safety layers, and deploy them into mission-critical pipelines. Here's the big takeaway I want to leave you with. Yes, building an LLM from scratch is a monumental task, but taking an existing model and making it yours, that's not just doable, that's where the future is headed. Because in the end, the magic isn't in making the model bigger, the magic is in making it fit you. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share.